Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers for beating the Washington Commanders 28 to 27. This is probably their most significant win of the year, just in the aspect of it was their toughest opponent. And to this point, it was, Pittsburgh's, Atlanta wasn't, what they end up becoming this year. Because the Steelers scored 6 field goals to win that game. And it was, the Chargers, but they're not great. Oh, Denver, they're not great. This team's not great. That team's not great. You lost to these two. Blah, 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 blah. So, this was like their first big win. Of like, yeah, we can beat the good teams. Now, we'll see how good of a team we can beat when we start facing our divisional opponents, especially Baltimore, Kansas City, Philadelphia. But right now, the Steelers sit at 7-2. It would be hard to imagine the Steelers not making the playoffs. So realistically, they make the playoffs, right? And then we'll see how far they get if they win a playoff game or not. But even at 7-2, God, in your next 8 games, if you were to only win 3 out of 8, let's call it, and that's 10 wins right there. But I mean, to only win 3, like, that means you would have to lose to Cleveland or Cincinnati probably at least once, right? Because, let's see. I mean, technically no, I guess, because if you lose to Philly, Kansas City, and Baltimore, no, wait. No, you would lose 5 games. So let's go off like losing 5, right? You lose to Kansas City. You lose to Philly. You lose to Baltimore twice. That's only 4 losses. Yeah. Yeah, you'd literally have to lose to Cincinnati or Cleveland at least once in this scenario. And that's also a scenario where you get swept by Baltimore, which they typically play Baltimore well. Not to say they wouldn't lose, but they play them well. But who knows? I mean, the Steelers could end up an 11 or 12 win team by the end of the year. We'll have to see. But more about this game. George Pickens' catch for a touchdown, insane. Absolutely insane. I don't agree with the decision to go on the fake punt there. And I don't agree with it, not because it didn't work. And, I mean, they had the right call. Like, it was there. Miles Killebrew threw a good enough ball. It was just that James Pierre couldn't catch the ball. So, it wasn't the fact that they did it. It was where they did it that I had a problem. And, I had a problem with it because you were so far deep in your own territory. Another 15 or 20 yards down the field, and I'm okay with doing that because then you don't put Washington right in the red zone to start off with. That's really my main issue with it. They really did hold Jaden Daniels in check. Both quarterbacks completed 50% of their passes. And I think Russell Wilson may have rushed for more yards than Jaden Daniels. He only rushed for 5. I think Russ had a 6-yard rush at some point. So they really did hold him in check. But he was 17 of 34 for like 202 or something. It was just over 200 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. I don't think he fumbled. So he didn't turn it over. Russ, he had 14 to 28, so 50%. for a little under 200, 190, whatever, 195, 197. And then 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 fumble. No. Did he fumble? I know Jalen fumbled. You know, I think only Jalen fumbled. I think Russ just threw a pick. So similar stat lines, except Russ threw touchdowns, whereas the Commanders were just rushing for the touchdowns. Pittsburgh rushed for 1 too, but it was, let me think, 1 by McNichols, 2 by Eckler for rushing touchdowns, and then a couple field goals by Zane Gonzalez, and we got our result. So, and then the Steelers won the toss but took the ball, which gave Washington the opportunity to be down 4 before the half, scored a touchdown to go up 3, scored another touchdown, and then it's, oh shit, we're down 10, and we haven't touched. You literally gave them the ball back, up 4, and by the time you got the ball again, you were down 10. That's literally the scenario you found yourself in, the chain of events. So, then coming out of half, again, they score. But the Steelers, yes, you were down 10, but you were still pretty early in the third quarter. And with them, they know we have time. So what do? They still use the running game. They, mixed in the play action. They had still their balanced offense, and they just slowly worked their way back. They didn't get panicky. This isn't Madden with 5-minute quarters, and your opponent has chew clock on. And by the time you get the ball back, you got 3 minutes left in the fourth. Like, that's not what this was. Like, the Steelers had time. So in that aspect, it's like, awesome. You have time to still run your own offense. It's when you get into the fourth quarter and you're losing time and you're still down a couple possessions and it's like, oh shit. That's just kind of when you finally get there. So, but they stayed cool and they did what they needed to do. Eventually getting it to where they marched down the field, and God, let me think. I think in the second half was Russell's interception, which George was able to touch him down. And then finally, when Pittsburgh was making a really good run at it, and they had a 4th and 1 in their own territory, and this was, 45-yard line, give or take, maybe the 46. And they went for it. And this was, like, yes, I'm in favor of going for this, because you're starting to run out of time. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm in favor of going for this one. I was nervous, but this is a smart decision. Plus, you left your offense out there. This isn't a fake punt. So they went for it, got it, great. Keep going down the field. And when Jalen fumbled, I was like, oh no. That is not good. Luckily, they stopped him. There was a holding, though, in the end zone that should have given the Steelers a safety and didn't. Which, God, people just hold TJ and hold TJ and hold TJ. Here's the problem. It's not even just TJ. It's edge defenders and defenders as a whole. Offensive linemen hold literally every single play. If they were to actually enforce, like, you held even a little bit, offenses would go nowhere because the offensive linemen wouldn't be able to stop them. They wouldn't. Flat out. they would not be able to stop D linemen. Doesn't matter if you're edge or interior. You couldn't be stopped if the offensive line weren't allowed to hold. At least a little bit. It's when you hold and you're impeding that person from going in the direction they want to go in. It's a running play, and like if the play was supposed to be to the left, but now the running back's cutting back to the right, and the D lineman goes to the right, and the offensive lineman's holding, and he's like, eh, and he's like, okay, flag, and the quarterback took off, so the edge defender is going to try to split off, and the lineman's holding him still. And that's part of the issue, is like, I'm holding you, and we're going at it, right? All of a sudden, because my back's to the quarterback, he starts taking off. I don't know he took off. So now you want to split off and go there. But because I'm holding you, when you try to split off from me, that's when the holding call comes into place. But that's the thing. If offensive linemen couldn't hold, like, D linemen would rule the line of scrimmage. And I mean rule it. So, but yeah, there was a hold there. Alex, when he tried to sack Jaden and he got hurt. Trying to think if that was before or after Mike Williams. I'm not sure. The game was yesterday. I'm recording this the day after the game, which maybe wasn't the best idea. So then you had the play to Mike Williams to get the touchdown, which would have been Calvin Austin had he not been taken out to be assessed for a concussion. And whether Calvin would have caught it or not, we'll never know. I think that was before Alex got hurt. Excuse me, it's late. I'm tired. So I want to get these done and go to bed. So then Washington tries going down the field. And whether or not you believe he got the first down on that 4th and 9, it was definitely close. And I believe that no matter how they would have called it, first down or short, it just would have stood no matter what. When it's that close, they're not really going to change the spot of the ball. They're not, plain and simple. So then they're rolled short. Pittsburgh run, gets them to 4th and 1. And they trot out the offense. And this is where I am not in favor of snapping this ball and trying to get the first. I'm not. I'm like, do not snap it. You do not snap this ball. You hard count them. And when the clock gets to 1, you make the decision of either calling a timeout or you take a delay a game intentionally. You do one of the two. But you do not snap this ball. Like, I don't care that we're right around the 50-yard line. You don't go for this. You don't. Plain and simple. And Russ, who's been in the league for 12, 13 years, I think this is year 13 maybe, he gets the rookie, Newton, to jump. And so neutral zone infraction, and Steelers win it. And that's the thing. He's a rookie. Like, he's going to make these kinds of mistakes where, I mean, you're going against a guy who was doing this when you were in elementary or middle school. Like, you got to figure, if you're 22 years old and Russ has been doing this for 13 years, give or take, yeah, you're, like, you were basically elementary school when Russ got drafted. So it's just, it's experience. That's what it is. It's experience. And when we were watching the game, we got the bonus coverage because we're in the market of the Bills here. So we had the Bills and Colts. Once that game ended, we got the bonus coverage with the Steelers and the Commanders. And so I stopped watching on my phone, and we were watching on the TV. And when the guy jumped off and the Steelers win and they're all celebrating, and I was watching it with my family. So my mom said that she felt bad for the guy, and when I explained to her that he's a rookie, he was a second round pick this year, and he's just in his rookie season out of Illinois, and she's like, "Oh, I feel worse. Like, this is a guy who had his dreams realized this year, and yet he made the one crucial mistake you couldn't make, and it's because." Russ is a vet. He knows what he's doing, the hard count. And it doesn't take much for just a and the guy, whoop, right across. And, his teammates are like, tapping him on the helmet. It's like, dude, it's okay. Like, not that it's okay. It's like, because it's not. But it's, don't kill yourself over it, You're a rookie. You're young. You'll improve. And that is absolutely true. I do believe that he has a very, very, very bright future ahead of him, Jonathan Newton. So just improve. That's all he can do is improve and work hard and get better from it, So that is it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.